iFish with BCF is proudly brought to you by BCF, Boating, Camping, Fishing, Suzuki, the ultimate outboard, and Steel Line, building Australia in steel.
This gets me excited. How pretty is this dam?
Holy snapping crab claw!
Oh my! That's like absolute sunshine!
Come on, mate. Oh, look at that! Oh, this is a big fish. Oh, yeah! Send the hoolies coming at us!
Don't love when a plan comes together.
I arrived in St Helens late last night, but I was up at the crack of dawn because I'm excited about today's fishing. Got up early through the townships of St Helens, Stiglitz, then Akaroa, and I'm about to walk out to the beach. I'm going to scour the beaches, the flats, and I'm going to try and find some beautiful silver trevally.
Let the good times roll.
There's two things I'm looking for this morning: fish and sunshine. I'm going to keep walking. Well, this location is all about tide. You've got to be here on the dead low because you want all the fish pushed into a small pocket of water. I didn't use an app this morning, I used a jet. He told me I must be here at 7:15, and that is what time we have. I'm getting weed almost every cast. Look at that, totally covering the squidgy wriggler. That's not a bad thing because that weed is a structure that the fish absolutely love.
So what I'm doing here is casting as far as I physically can, and then watching the line, just to watch, oh, I just got a little bump in, just to watch that plastic over the water, and then I've got a fish. I actually felt the bump. Now this isn't a large fish, I'm not actually sure what it is, but I felt that bump as soon as it landed, and quite often the species here, what do we got? What do we have? Quite often the fish here will hit the second it lands. Now that's unbelievable. Yellowtail scad or yakka quite often get these fish. They love the estuaries. That is one of the best live baits for tuna, kingfish, marlin. In Japan, I was there recently in Japan, they actually have yakka fishing charters. And they're very expensive. You can go light game fishing for yakkas, and then you can go heavy tackle fishing for yakkas. There you go, whatever floats your boat. We normally catch these in amongst the Trevally, so that's a good sign. Off you go, mate. Look. And away he goes, he's keen.
Sometimes you just got to go old school. Fishing Lake Elam today, I put on a paravane. I haven't used one for over 30 years, but I used to catch trout here on them. Why not give it a go? So the paravane, it dives down, 10 foot of lead behind it, then a lure. It'll take it down to the depths where the other lures aren't going to be. Guess what? Put it out, 2 minutes, bang, brown trout. How good is that? So, maybe sometimes, don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Think back to what used to work. Go old school, give it a go, because you just never know. This fishing boat trip was proudly brought to you by steelline.com.au. Interesting fact, there's a massive commercial crayfishery here in St Helens, and it's big business. Just one crayfish can sometimes fetch up to $500.
When I got here, I was winding with my right hand, and I actually felt uncomfortable because when I bait fish, I use my right hand, but when I spin and use plastics, I like to use my left hand to retrieve. So I just changed. It's amazing how more comfortable it feels. For me, I'm not saying you should do it, but for me, when I'm using a plastic, just have that rod in the right hand, do your little lift, wind with the left, pick up your line. It's amazing, it just feels normal. I love it. Oh, that was a little tick. Yeah, gotcha. That's it. And that is what we're looking for. I saw the bakery. Oh, that was a big silver trevally. I saw the bakery and I thought, oh, steak and pepper pie. And then I looked up to a big silver trevally. It just fell off, but caught the yakkers. We know the trevally here had the trevally on. I could see bait showering through the water. Won't be long till we find another. I'll just go onto a slightly bigger soft plastic. This one is the 100mm squidgy wriggler. I had an 80mm on before. Two reasons for that. One, a fish bit the last one off. And two, with that extra size, I'll be able to cast a little bit further into this light breeze. For some reason, these fish do like to eat on the drop. So really important that first cast, watch your line really closely, watch it sink to the bottom, give it that little tweak if it's not the first drop, quite often the second. And you really do have to have your wits about you because it can be the smallest little pluck and they suck that pluck in. You just want to keep bouncing it over the sand. It's such a fishy area. Oh, yeah. It's such a fishy area. Fishy area, as I just said. I love these fish so much. And how's the power? I mean, this is a serious amount of power from a small estuary fish. And guess what? We're going for a walk. I always say when you're whiting fishing, King George whiting, they are known as the king. And everyone says they're the hardest pulling fish on the planet. But when you're whiting fishing and you hook a silver trevally, you think it's the monster. That's just how hard these things fight. And look at the way he's going. I've already moved 20 metres. Oh, I can feel that weed. What's he doing? Oh, did you get that rod tip up? Oh my God, he's huge. He is huge, but I've got a massive pile of weed on my line. This thing is an absolute truck. I want to show this fish so bad. Now I'm just going to keep walking. We're going back this way now, boys. And we could be going for a little while. This is what I call a morning walk. Have a look at him. Well, you could. Come on. Come on. Just I gotta try and beat him. That is a absolute beast. Look at that. Look at that. How's that for a fish? Now that is what I call making getting out of bed worthwhile. Oh, the power is just incredible. And these things, believe it or not, they grow to a staggering 1.2 metres and 18 kilos. They're a trevally, obviously, and a very distinctive characteristic. If you look at his gill plate there, there's a black dot right there. That's how you know you've got the silver trevally, and they bar up. You'll notice the bars like stripes, the good old magpies going through there. The smaller they are, the more excited they are, the more those bars appear. Man, when it comes to the estuary, when it comes to feeling the sand between your toes, the only thing better than this is going to be the double shot flat wide from Life Boys in about 2 hours time, because this is living. This beautiful fish is going back. Just there, mate. What a beast. Think about the things that has harassed over the years.
Interesting fact, breakfast at the Lifebuoy Cafe here in St Helens makes the list of top 20 things to do whilst you're in town. I can vouch for it, the double shot latte. Fishing artificials, really important to keep the S factor all over that lure. Now, S factor is something Shimano invented many years ago here in Australia, and it does two things. One, it actually attracts the fish. It's a lubricant that actually brings the fish in and a scent. But number two, when they do eat the plastic, it just makes them hang on that little bit longer, because obviously plastic isn't what they're normally used to eating. So that beautiful scent, you see it all over the lure there, makes them hang on, brings them in, and seriously, it makes a massive difference when you're using artificials. This is such a beautiful little outfit. They call this finesse fishing, and this rod and reel is about as light as I can go. It's a Shimano Zodius 270M. Beautiful light rod, really crisp and great for casting. When you get a big trevally on, you can really give it some stick. And the reel's the new Stratic. They are just so good. 2500, cast really well. I like this size for this sort of fishing. And for the price, you just can't beat it. They are next level.
That was a beautiful little tick, and all I did was move to some new ground, move 20 metres. Obviously they haven't seen the lure. Now you've got to imagine these trevally are just swimming up and down this channel looking for food. But sometimes you make the move and it just makes such a difference. So this fish hasn't done a big run yet, but it's definitely a trevally. If you look at my rod tip, you'll literally see it aggressively going whack, whack, whack. There it is there. See that? Kick, 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 kick. That's how you know it's a trevally, because if almost like a tuna, when you've got a tuna on, when you got a tuna on, you can tell because it's that tap, 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 tap. And this spot is just so good, but there's 1,000 spots like this in Tasmania. In fact, there's 1,000 spots like this just in the northeast of Tasmania, which is where we're fishing today. And if you go out and do some exploring, if you're on holidays, the things you will find will blow your mind. This is a nice fish, eh? Very nice fish. Look at him there. They've got this beautiful hue on their back, a purple-green hue. Oh, he's taking me for a run. I'm going to try and beach this fish in this nice little drain here. He is all lit up with tiger stripes. Oh, I'm trying to fight him away from my cameraman. Here we go, come on mate. Just slide him up in here. Look at those stripes. Look at that for a fish. That is a thing of beauty. Go and have a look at that. Seriously, don't worry about me. Look at that. How's the bars there all lit up? And you can imagine as he comes in to attack a bait fish, he'd light up the bars and confuse the bait fish. And that is a perfect example of a silver trevally. These things are so amazing. They can swim in 1 metre of water, and then they can be found in 250 metres of water, and even on the edge of the continental shelf. And how's the size and body of that fish? I'll wipe the sand off. Look at that. For an absolute truck. And that's that tail I was talking about earlier. It is so good because it can move through the water with ease. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Big pectoral fins, massive gob, so many species of trevally. The GT is probably my favourite. I love the bluefin, but I reckon the silver, he's in the top 3 for sure. What a king of the estuary and the flats. This one's going back. Even though these things make some of the best sashimi in the world, this is one lucky fish. He's going back. Off you go, mate. Oof. They camouflage so well. Absolute thugs of the estuary, they are. Thugs.
There's lots of fireplaces and there's countless lavatories. A peaceful water feature that makes catering a breeze. Our home here in the outdoors is BCFing fun. Hey!
Ta-da! Oh, I love catching fishies off the peak because I'm a tackle rat.
Well, I've got to admit, I'm a little bit excited about the BCF Drift Tray tackle range. They come in 3 sizes, 3500, 3600, 3700. This one has 10 compartments, the middle size 18 compartments, and the big guy, the 3700, 24 compartments. They're all clear too on both the lid and the compartment dividers, so you can easily see what tackle you put in which box. I love the fact they come in a whole range of really bright colours, pink, green, orange and blue. No troubles finding them on the boat or the riverbank, and it's got a double latch, so you know it's going to be very secure and your tackle's not going to end up all over the tackle bag. Tackle storage is going to be one of the toughest things in fishing, but if you've got your drift tray tackle boxes, you know what gear's in which colour and you can clearly see it. Only take the ones you're going to use on that particular day's fishing. It's going to make life a whole lot easier. To see the full range of drift tray tackle boxes, get to your local BCF store. To find that store, bcf.com.au. You won't miss them. Interesting fact, in the early 2000s, St Helens was one of the fastest growing towns in all of Tasmania. And by the 2006 census, the population reached 2,049 people. Over the next 15 years, the population boomed, with an extra 10 residents moving in every single year. Braid choice is always important, but very important today fishing the flats, particularly with a bit of breeze. It's really important not just to think, oh, I need 10-pound braid or 5-pound braid, and this is 5-pound braid I picked up from BCF, but you want a really thin 5-pound braid, like the thinnest you can physically get. The reason for that, you want those long casts. If you want a long cast, you need super, super thin braid. The other thing I do too, I fill the spool really, really full. And the reason for that is, the fuller that spool, the better the cast you're going to get. And I do find if you can cast out to the depths of the channel, it's amazing the difference it'll make when it comes to catching these estuary species. Now, it's obviously another Trevally, and they are coming in thick and fast. And I'm lucky enough to have fished all around the globe for all sorts of species, but doing this sort of thing, this really floats my boat. So I'm just going to slide this fish straight back up here again. And this fish, as you can see, is absolutely barred up. Look at those bars. He is fired up. And that's what I would call a more standard silver trevally. But look at those bars, look at that. And it's amazing how fish can change colour. We all know that you get your cephalopods can change colour bang to the environment. Fish can do the same. Marlin get bioluminescence. These guys just light up with these things here, and they'll change the environment. It's a hunting thing, it's a camouflage thing. That is what I call a standard size silver trevally. I think minimum size here is only 20 centimetres, which is like that. Well oversized. Let's go on back. Yep, gotcha. Now that fish, it's different, this fish. I reckon it might have a yakka or maybe a, what do we got? Oh, look at that, unbelievable. A flathead. Now, check out the coloration. I've been talking all day about how much I love fishing their colours. Have a look at the colours on this thing. Look at those black bars. And I've actually caught some nice flathead in this area before. There's a little ledge, sand and then weed. You don't get a lot of big flathead in Tasmania, but the ones you get, they are so pretty. And I'm going to admit, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever what kind of flathead that is. So I'm going to say it's a spiky, barry, pretty slimy one. That'll do. How's the way he just slides down into the depths and slowly disappears with that camouflage. What a beautiful fish. Oh yes, gotcha. How was that for a little tweak? That was like, oh, I'm here, Paul. That was so good. And again, I've just moved up the bank 5 metres, so every time I make a move, that's so good. You just don't expect that from estuary fish, to be able to pull string that hard. That's why they're just so tough. But every time I move up the bank, I'm catching fish. So maybe these fish are actually sitting in one area and I'm coming to them. The thing about fish, you just never know. You get all these theories, you really never do know. But what I do know is the sun is out in Tassie. The guns will be out soon. It's getting warm. And I can almost smell the coffee. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube for everything IFISH TV. And don't forget our website, ifish.com.au. What a day. Imagine coming down here, just cruising around, stopping at a spot that looks nice and going and find yourself a few beautiful fish. Oh, he's in the weed. He's in the weed. Come on, mate, come on. He's got a bit of go, this guy. He's just come out of the weed. There he is. There he is. They just never ever give in. And because they're such a flat fish, so to speak, they turn on their side. The power is just ridiculous. I'm gonna let him go that way. And then I'm gonna let him come this way. And I reckon if I just guide his head and slide, just use his momentum to slide him up, and that is how we roll. I'd say nothing but net, but there is no net. That is another beautiful specimen of Silver Trevally. And I could literally sit here and do this all day. Silver Trevally, St Helens, land-based. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I reckon this is about as good as life gets. iFish with BCF is proudly brought to you by BCF, Boating, Camping, Fishing, Suzuki, the ultimate outboard, and Steel Line, building Australia in steel.